Hello, this is Joe Perry, the Hebrew Hillbilly, coming at you with producer Jeeves. We've got several subjects we're going to discuss this week. First one being kosher, because it's something I get asked about a lot. What it means. A lot of people know the whole "don't eat pigs" thing, but it's more than that. I mean, it does, of course, in itself encompass more than that. As far as shellfish, no meat and dairy together. A lot of highly processed foods are considered unkosher. Uh, but the kashrut, it's more about community than it is about exactly what you're eating. Like the Shabbos dinners, the Friday evening dinners, are more about just coming together as a community, keeping uh, keeping in touch, keeping that personal sense of connection, which is in a lot of ways like good old fashioned hillbilly barbecues on the weekends. It's not uncommon for families to come together and have huge barbecues, and like I say, it's not entirely different than Shabbos meals. I mean, if you you got to get rid of the pigs and stuff like that. But I mean, but it's just about a sense of community. That's what kosher is. It means more to me than than of course, the restrictions. And of course, I abide by the restrictions. As far as the food I eat, as best I can. I don't live in a largely uh, Jewish area, so getting kosher food is not as easy here as it is in a lot of places. But that's mainly just what kosher is about. It's more about family and community than it is necessarily about what you're eating. Uh, if you have any questions, if you're a non-Jew and you have any questions, this is something else, and I get it all the time, especially about the kippah. The first thing people walk up is, I just wanted to ask. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm telling you, most people aren't going to be offended. Most Jews are not going to be offended if you ask them, especially if they are observant Jews. They're very proud to be observant Jews. And they're not going to have any problem with you asking them questions about it. They're not going to be insulted about it. It's not going to be a problem, and it's a great way, honestly, to make a new friend, to uh, open lines of communication, because that's what this is about. That's what we're doing here is trying to get to create an understanding. Like I said, whenever I first started studying Judaism and then started the process of conversion, it was astonishing how, like I said, I think I was born a Jew. Everything I felt, everything I thought or since I was a child was just being reflected back to me. It was something that was, quite frankly, pretty stunning. Uh, how I could be so similar, how my thoughts and my feelings could be so similar to something that I had no idea about. But you'll find, if you're a non-Jew and you go up and speak to a Jew, you're going to have a lot more in common than you truly think you will. And the same way, if you're a Jew and you have uh, some Gentiles that you maybe work around, ask them questions. They're not going to be insulted about it. They're just, you know.
Explain what that word means. A lot of people probably don't know what a Gentile is.
I think it comes. I don't know, but I believe it comes from the term the landed gentry, which were the people who were in charge in Europe. Uh, it's basically just there's a word goy, and it's sometimes used basically like the word Jew is. I'm a Jew, but then you'll have people say Jew, and the inflection that you put out there can mean. whether it's just a point of fact that you're making or an insult. And goy is the same way. A goy is just a non-Jew. I don't know why I didn't use the word, but I'm not one of these people that, quite frankly, believes in policing words. Policing words is how ideas are snuffed out. I don't do that. I think I probably didn't use the word goy because most people didn't understand it and I didn't want to explain it. But thank you. Gentry, most people understand that, but it's okay.
I see a lot of people use the fucking word goy all over the place, and I feel like people misuse that.
Well, like I said, however, how it's used has a lot to do with with whether it's an insult or not. The word goy just simply means not a Jew, a person who is not Jewish. It doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It just means you're not Jewish. But that's it. If somebody walked up and called you a friggin' goy, you know they're insulting you. But if somebody said, "Oh, this person he's a friend of mine. He's a goy. He may not understand," you know, that in that reference is not being used as an insult. It just depends on how people use it and how sensitive the people around you are, as far as that goes. I'm not a very sensitive human being, but yeah. Um, but as I was saying, you're nobody who ever comes up and asks me a question about Judaism. You don't worry about saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not." You're not going to insult me. I love to talk about Judaism. I love to explain not just spiritually but practically how my life works. It makes it a little easier because some people do get shocked at different things they find out about it, but they only get shocked because they just it was nothing that they would have had to deal with within themselves, and it just seems like not being able to work on Saturdays. That's one thing that really uh, especially when I'm dealing with a new boss, when I get dispatched out to a new job, that so sometimes it comes to you can't work at all any Saturday at all, no matter what. Well, no, I can work Sundays, I can work other days, but no, the Sabbath is from Friday when the sun sets till Saturday when the sun sets, and I can't work during that time. But it's just things like that. It's ask questions. The Trust me. Now the
Before we move on, yeah, make use of the comment section if you have any questions about Judaism. I managed to.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if anyone has any questions about Judaism, you can go ahead, just ask in the comments, and I'll relay to the hillbilly over here.
Mm-hmm. And if you're a Jew and you have any questions about hillbillies, feel free to ask on that one too. And no, we're not all inbred. No. Okay. Now the next one I kind of led into a little bit last week. It has to do with the certain political situation that's going on in California. It's pretty much run its course, but it was about I believe it was a congressman in California who got caught. What was it? Making passing out the Cosby Coladas to his dates. And this it's not really about him that I'm going to bring it up. But it opens the door for a real understanding, because the thing that surprised me most was how many people were so shocked and clutching their pearls about, oh my God, how could somebody like this be in office? How could somebody? Yeah, it's done intentionally. Yes, everybody knew what he was doing. Yes, from the beginning. When you start in politics, before we get to that, there was also a conservative radio personality here in Indiana. I don't think he's on the radio anymore, but he was a real pearl clutcher about that too. Whenever he'd find out about conservatives that had been caught with their hand in a cookie jar, or who had different issues, different peccadillas, or when they got caught in the middle of doing something that they shouldn't have been done, and somehow charges disappeared for him, and he'd act like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this." Uh, I'm not sure about the guy. I don't know the guy. I'm not going to mention his name. But he claimed to have also have had held some political office somewhere, and I'm not sure how uh, real he was being, because you can't really be in politics. I've never been in politics, and I understand how the system works, but you can't really have been part of politics and be that naive about it unless you were just a really just blind human being. And the truth is, I think that he was a pretty blind human being, because he had gone through the process and used his limited celebrity to help elect a certain person in our government here in Indiana, which I'm not going to mention, but it was his preacher or pastor or something like that, and he got him elected. Now, when he got him elected, he thought suddenly that he had gotten, John Paul elected, and come to find out, he got Jesse Gemstone elected. I mean, it was the guy turned out to be just as big a schmuck in an office seeker as anybody else. He would claim piety, but he turned out to be just as much a member of the political machine and fit right into it. So it and then he comes out, and I don't know what was going on, but he suddenly came out against this guy that he had helped get elected, and oh my God, I can't believe he's doing this. He's not living up to he's just following this party. That's how they control them. That when you get into politics, 90% of the time, and this is what scared most people about Trump, was he aimed for the top before he had ever served anywhere or in between. And that was frightening to them, because what happens, and this is how politics actually works, is you start out on a school board. You start out on some local city council or county council or whatever, garbage collector or dog catcher or whatever. You get elected to a lower position. They see how you cooperate with the people who run the party. Now, if you cooperate well with the people who run the party, then they'll start backing you for ever higher offices, ever higher offices. You will find yourself a place in the marching order, but you're never going to get real high. That is until they, one, have to disappear a dead hooker from your or hotel room. Two, your coked up son or nephew or mistress wraps her Corvette or her Maserati around a telephone pole, or God forbid, around some poor family's minivan, and kills them all. Or you get caught with, on your ninth DUI, or you get caught with a couple of keys of Colombian Bam Bam in the back of your trunk. That is when it really kicks in. That's when they've got you. These things, the Cosby Coladas that our dear California Democrat got caught with, or got caught serving, was just a method of control. They take these things that you have done and they make them disappear. Not completely, but they keep them under wraps. And they don't necessarily encourage this behavior to continue, but they don't discourage this behavior to continue. And what happens is, as you go along, and this happens in both parties. It happens as much with Republicans as it does with Democrats. It probably even happens with the Libertarians. I don't know. There's not enough of them really to worry about as far as that goes. They don't get elected enough. So, but I'd imagine if you're in politics, the people who are running the political machine are the ones who are in charge. It's not the people in office. It's been that way since the Blair family founded the Republican Party. The Blairs were in charge. It wasn't Lincoln. It wasn't anybody who came after him, and not since. It's the same way with the Tammanies, with Tweed and in Tammany Hall in New York. It's the party establishment that runs the candidate. They tell them how to vote. If they say shit, they squat. If they tell them to to stick their fingers in their ears and cross their eyes and go blah, 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 while they stand there and piss their pants, they'll do it if they want to continue, because that's how they control them. They've controlled them with their bad acts. And this thing with I'm not going to mention his name because the schmuck might try to sue me. But this thing with the California guy is nothing new. If you're in politics, you're dirty. I mean, you have to remember it was what was it? It was the Biden family. God, ooh, the craziness they were involved with. The I mean, selling those goofball paintings. It was as far back as you go. I mean, you had Slick Billy who couldn't spend 15 minutes without dipping his al dente schwanz into something. You had Georgie Bush. He had his own problems with the bottle and with the devil's dandruff, if you know what I mean. Then you had King Hussein of Cook County. Hell, I mean, are people forgetting Acorn? He ran a money laundering scheme to get government or funds into the hands of his buddies in Chicago politics. You know, I mean, it's just what they do. They all do horrible, illegal things. It's and both sides are, like I said, both sides are doing it. And it is something that is kept under wraps until it comes to a point that they no longer need them, or they're somehow in the way, or God forbid some elected official does something really stupid, like actually tries to do good for the people that he was elected to do good for. That's when the dirt comes out on them. That's all. So don't be so naive. And most importantly, I don't know how we've come to this point in this country, and it's been that bad with the left for a while, which kind of pushed me away from the left. But it's starting to get bad with the right, and that cult of the individual and the cult of the party, as in, if, like Nancy Pelosi said at one time, which was probably one of the dumbest human beings to ever sit in Congress, of course, until here lately. Wow, we've had some. But she actually said that when she was talking about one of her colleagues on her side, said that this person lives in an area that if you took a glass of water and put a D on it, or she said something to the effect that if a glass of water was running and you put a D in front of it, then it would get elected. It takes nothing to get elected because it's sewn up. You need to look at these people, okay? Especially these people that are in these absolutely secure districts. I mean, look at who you're voting for, because most of them are. Just thinking about them makes me want to go bathe in Lysol. Ugh. Anyhow, yeah. So let's get away from that. I just want people to understand you. When you're voting for a politician, you're not voting for a savior, and you're not voting for a good person. The saviors and the good people don't get to run, or they don't want to run because they don't want to. I can't remember who it was that wrote it, but just to close out with that, there was the problem with being a bookworm when you were a kid is you read a lot of things, and then as you grow older, you can't remember where you read it. But I was reading this piece on where this person, it may have been Lincoln that wrote it, or it may, I don't remember what, but they were talking about the reason you don't get good people in politics is because of the muck, the slime that they have to climb through in order to get into a political position is so demeaning and so tasteless that good people are not going to subject themselves to it. Now that's not what they were saying exactly, but that was the gist of the piece that I was reading. And that way, the only reason, or the only people that you end up with, are people who are willing to. I think it was Nietzsche that said the only people who get power are the ones who are willing to stoop low enough to pick it up, and that couldn't be more true today. You're not going to end up with good people in politics because they're going to run them out. They're going to get rid of them. If they're too good, they're just going to shoulder them out and not support them. If they're Yeah, if they're not dumb enough and corrupt enough, then they're just going to shoulder them out. And if they're smart people, they need to be very corrupt because they have to be somebody who has to be controlled completely. But yeah, you're not going to get good politicians. There's no such thing as a good politician. They're all slime. Uh, and on with that cheerful, wonderful, and uplifting little treatise that I have just presented on politics, let's now go to movies. Give you a piss break. Hold on. Okay. Any longer than that, you might have to talk to a doctor. If not, just pause it. Okay, the three movies I'm going for today are three actually really good movies that most of you haven't heard of. I can guarantee them, but you'll like them. Hillbilly or Jewel, like I think you're going to like all three of these movies. The first one is a movie called And Justice for All. It was an early Pacino movie, and it was Pacino at his best. It just a great movie. It's got Craig Nelson in it, the guy who played Coach. It's got a lot of people in it. It's even got the guy who played Charlie on Charlie's Angels. I can't remember his name, but he's in it. It just a great movie. It's about a defense lawyer in Baltimore. It's all I'm going to give you because you have to watch it. Great movie. The second one is one of Kurt Russell's absolute best, without a question, and that is Used Cars. It also has Jack Warden in it, who was also in And Justice for All, who is just an absolutely great actor, and he's every time he's in a scene in both movies, he steals it. He's just great. He actually in Used Cars he plays two people, Luke and Royale Fuchs, brothers, who one's good and one's evil, who own competing car lots literally right across the street from each other. And it's be prepared to pause for the laughter, okay? You will, because you will laugh your ass off. And if you ever watched Laverne and Shirley, it's got Lenny and Squiggy in it. They play like surreptitious like electronic computer whizzes, and but just a great movie. Great movie.
It's called Used Cars.
Used Cars, yes.
I think I've seen parts of this.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And actually, Jack Warden has a phrase in that movie which fits into the first part, which just goes to show you that this has existed forever. Where he's talking about, he's finding out that he's going to get screwed by some road contract or something that's happening. He's been greasing the local politicians for years, trying to screw his brother in the deal and make sure his brother gets screwed. But somehow, in order this politician or something gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar, anyhow, but it come to find out Royale, the mad brother, is going to get screwed over. And he says, flat out, he's standing there right beside this cutout with him standing beside a flag, and he looks at it. He says, this country's going to the dogs. He said, there was a time in this great country when you bought a politician, that son of a bitch stayed bought. It's, hey,
I've seen clips for that.
Lador, okay?
Come over.
From generation to generation, politicians have always been slime.
Yeah, come over. I've seen fucking. You watched that movie a couple
Yeah,
of
it's a
times.
great movie.
Yeah.
Third movie, Bonfire of the Vanities, one of Bruce Willis's good ones. It was a sleeper. I don't think it did well, but the book I read, and the book was great. And then when the movie came out, the movie was great. And it's basically about the slime in politics too, and about some guy. If you've read the book, watch the movie. There's enough subtle differences in them and enough significant differences in them that both of them are enjoyable. It's like the Count of Monte Cristo, the book and the movie. You can enjoy both because there's enough differences in them. Actually, there was a new series of the Count of Monte Cristo that was just done that I watched, and it was like a 5 or 6 part series, and it was a little bit more faithful to the book, and it was good, man, it was good. Anyhow, I happen to be a fan of Demois. I really do. I just the Man in the Iron Mask, the Three Musketeers. I've just been a fan since I was a kid. I had some books I wanted to discuss, but I want to. How are we doing with time here, producer Jeeves?
About 25 minutes
Okay,
in.
I don't want to make these things too long because I don't want to bore the living piss out of you. It shouldn't be any longer than your average dump. Is how I'm trying to keep these things until we go live and have guests. Like luminaries like Gore Vidal and that guy who lives behind the dumpster over there behind the liquor store. We'll have him on.
Oh
And
yeah, Pete the Magic Mom.
yeah, different people. Like I said, world luminaries. We'll have those guys on. But
One
until
thing,
then, I'm going to try and keep them short. You go ahead. What'd you have to say?
one thing back on the movies thing. I'm not recommending this movie because it's obscure. It's not an obscure movie at all. You know this movie, The Green Mile. And I'm mostly recommending this because everybody I've talked to has not seen this fucking movie.
Really?
And I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like, how is.
Even if you have seen it, it's a movie that it's a movie that's worth a second watch. It's like other movies that I've seen. It's there are some movies that I'll watch once or twice a year. Better Call Saul, the TV series. Uh, I wasn't even turned on to it until halfway through the last season, and I binge watched it that year to catch up, and it actually made me finish the one where the guy was making the college, or I'm sorry, the high school teacher. Breaking Bad. It actually made me start watching Breaking Bad again because I only made it about 3 seasons into Breaking Bad, and some of the characters I love the main character, and I loved Uncle Hank, but Jesse in the beginning drove me nuts, and there were several others that drove me nuts. So it just became something I couldn't watch. But but I loved seeing Saul on there. He was the thing that kept it from making it or kept it from taking itself too seriously. So when I saw he had a series, I jumped on it, I finished it, and then boom, I went back to Breaking Bad and ended up. Our both of them are great. I mean, it actually re-energized me for that one.
But
But
yeah,
it's something that's worth rewatching, even if you have seen it. How could you have not seen The Green Mile?
but yeah, that's what I was trying. It was like a lot of people haven't seen the fucking Green Mile, and I think it's just because most people these days don't watch older movies. And The Green Mile is, well, it was made before it was made before 2005, and nowadays fucking nobody watches movies made before 2005, which is really unfortunate.
Because most of the best movies were made prior to this century. I
Yeah.
mean, the truth is, one of the greatest movies in history. Uh, and I'm going to mention, I'll probably mention it again because it's on one of those. It's one of those movies that you have to watch before you die, and that is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Yeah. I think we got a whole
Greatest movie.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think this is another topic we should probably go over is like the fucking way movies are now.
Oh,
Not
we'll spend a couple of episodes talking about
yeah.
that. Just like I said with the gun control thing, but the gun safety thing. I'm going to probably dedicate a good portion of Sunday to that.
Yeah.
Bring in a few examples, show safe handling, show different components of the weapon. Of course, we're not going to go outside and do any shooting. There won't even be any ammunition around what we're doing, but it's something that we will get to, and we'll do that on several different occasions. And if we get the opportunity, we may do a couple of outside sessions where we do a little shooting, practical exercises, things like that. I'm not really worried too much about that. Uh,
But for now, we
but
yeah.
but for now, like I said, there will be, so that will be a continuing topic with movies. There were some books that I was going to mention, but we ran a little long. So and I'm still running my jib, so we're running along now. We still below 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, we're still below 30. It was 25 minutes, and now it's 3 minutes. What's 23? We're 25 plus 3.
Okay, so yeah, we're still in there. To keep her under the 30-minute mark, I'm signing off right now. That's producer Jeeves, and this is Joe Perry, the Hebrew Hillbilly. And just like before, I do want to mention the trade and skilled trade unions. It's a great way to find yourself a wonderful career making low six figures, even mid six figures as you take yourself through it. and you're going to do it without a mountain of college debt. It's the I happen to be a member of the International Union of, excuse me, or the International Union of Operating Engineers. Sorry, I belched in the middle of that, but that was rude. I didn't mean to disrespect my union that way. But there's the Sparkies Union, the IBEW. There's Carpenters Unions, Leuna, like I said, the Laborers Union. They're all good programs, and you get paid while you train, and that's the best part about them. There's no college debt.
Yeah.
If you're a person who likes to work outside and don't feel like an office would be the right scene for you, I'm telling you, look into them. You will not regret it. Thank you very much. Like I said, for our producer Jeeves and for Joe Perry, the Hebrew Hillbilly, signing off.